All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy, and I'm glad to be here with you today. We had some outside influences in our markets, so we'll see if we can get rid of that black cloud. We had a hotter than expected inflation reading. That's shot bonds down, which means interest rates going up. We'll see, but that's really what we've got going on here. A stronger dollar kind of put a little bit of a damper on things. Let's take a look and see what corn's got going on. And we've been just hanging around this unchanged level all day long, right? We're only a quarter cent higher in the March to 430 3/4. May's unchanged at 442 1/2. Go all the way out to new crop. Look at the front two are now unchanged. New crop's down just a half cent. 468 3/4. Nothing going on here. We talk about corn. Let's go to the soybeans. Soybeans are all lower by 7 to 8 cents, really. 7.5 cents lower in the March to 11.85 1/2. That's about a half cent or a penny off the low. Let's go to July. That's 8 1/4 cents lower to 11.99 1/4. And I bring that one up because that's the last one that had a 12 in front of it. We're only about 3/4 of a cent off the low of the day there at 11.99 1/4. July beans in Chicago. Let's move on to the wheat. Wheat market's got also a little bit of a loss for us, except for the front month, March. It's up 1.5 cents to 5.99. It wants to have a 6 in front of it, but we're 1 1/4 cents lower in the May, right behind it to 5.98. And that's well off the lows of the day, though. That's the good news. You go out a couple more. Say July's off 2 1/4 cents to 5.98 as well. Hard red wheat, Kansas City. Let's take a look at that. That's about a nickel lower across the board, 5 cents lower in the March. 5.93 3/4 is last there. And we've got 5 1/4 cent loss in July to 5.83 3/4. So there you go. That's what's going on in the hard red. Let's take a quick peek at spring. Spring wheat in Minneapolis, that's down 9 cents in that March contract. 673 1/2 is last. And that's a new low, folks. 6.5 cents lower in the May to 674 1/2. And finally, cotton. Let's see what's going on with cotton. That's 129 points higher to 91.82, and that's the March contract. 91.82, 129 points higher. Let's bring in our next guest analyst. It's going to be the well-known Tommy Grisafi coming to us. I think he said Lexington, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky, sorry. Louisville. All right, Tommy, I just gave you the prices. Obviously, we've had that CPI report today. That's going to affect things. Any thoughts?
That was a hot number. I had the TV on. And lately on these CPIs and PPIs, S&Ps moved 10 points either way, but they looked at it and then they really looked at it. We took the Dow Jones down 550. Couple key takeaways here as we do this segment. Crude oil's on the high, up 150, 160. That sounds to me, or feels to me, like some geopolitical risk is brewing. And look at that, up 141. Look how they did that magic. Crude oil up 141. Corn was up 4 earlier. It couldn't hold. We have some problems in spring wheat. That bums me out. The overall amount of money that's out there there's just not as much money as there has been in the past. And we're going to talk about that later on your show. So with that, if I don't see you, Scotty, that means I'm supposed to keep talking, I think. I think you lost your mic.
I'm here. No, I'm
here. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought it was my turn to be famous and just take over the show. Okay, I'm bummed out that corn couldn't hold that 4-cent rally. And there's some serious things going on. The amount of money, a lot of money has been lost, but no one wrote a check. Like, they're just getting less for their product, and that's going to affect people. Now, we're at the National Farm Machinery Show. Most of this equipment here costs more than our homes, or the homes we wish we could buy, right? We don't even live in homes as expensive as a combine. And it's interesting. It's challenging. I don't want to. Someone texted me. A friend of mine texted me. He said, "Who was the guy who went on Cow Guy the other day and said corn could go to 265 or 280?" I didn't know what he was talking about.
Cash.
But did you have
cash corn? He was talking about the guy that said that. He was looking for cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's possible. In North Dakota right now, cash corn's 380. Could it go to 280? Yes, that is very possible.
Yeah.
Why they would be mad? Because someone told the truth, right? Speaking of telling the truth, congrats to you and what you've been doing. You've been saying this inflation just doesn't go away. It's not going to go away. And that you've completely called BS on these 5 rate cuts. Not only are they not going to be able to cut rates 5 times, they should almost raise interest rates
Yes.
with how hot that number was. I'm serious. So maybe you and I, we can go Prez and VP. You'll probably be Prez. I'll go VP. But we got to do something here, Scotty. And I think it starts with you and me.
Well, it's what happens when you're old and you don't go with the flow, because they got ahead of themselves. Man, they were crazy the last half of December. But we got to go. We're going to go away. We got to pay some bills. We're going to go back and talk more with Tommy Grisafi. He's in Louisville, Kentucky at the Machinery Show. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the livestock, right? Everybody wants to know what's going on over there. We've had a little bit of a story as of late. Let's bring in live cattle and see what that board's got for us. And we've got a loss across that board. It'll be anywhere between, say, 25 and 52 cents, but not a lot going on. 25 cents lower in the April. 185.67 is last there. And I guess it's only a nickel off the high of the day, so we had a gap open lower, obviously. October's down 52 cents to 184.85. Let's move on from the live cattle to the feeder cattle. That's going to also be a little lower, but not bad. March off 30 cents to 248.52. And then we've got, say, an 85-cent lower board in April right behind it to 252.32. And then finally, let's go to the lean hogs. Lean hogs, a little bit of a disparate market here. We've got April up 5 cents, just 2 ticks, 81.17's last there. And you go out the deferreds, we start to leak a little bit lower. Even June's off 42 cents to 94.45. Let's bring back in Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading, great friend of the show. Tommy, thanks for being on. Anything jump out at you when we talk about meats?
Just, let's go back to the stock market. If we didn't have NVIDIA going up the way it is in the Big Seven, I think when folks like you say, oh, the stock market's not doing as well and there's problems in the economy, people are like, what are they talking about? Are they crazy? We just hit all-time highs a week ago. You have to extract NVIDIA and these big stocks. And what you're seeing companies do is lay people off to make their profits higher, and that's the problem. It looked like today meats looked at the Dow down 500 and said, you know what, we've went up a little too fast, a little too much. Let's take a little off the table. I talked to my cattle guys. They were thinking we might go a little higher, but it's okay for these to back off. It's a very healthy trade for cattle. When they just go up, I don't like, Scotty, me personally, I don't know about you, I don't like when markets go up 12 days in a row or down 12 days in a row. I like a back and forth trade. I don't mind a big move in a day, but I like some back and fill. And when we just trend up or trend lower, it makes it difficult as a scalper. So I like to see a pullback in meats. Wouldn't bother me at all to see an aggressive pullback.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get on a train that you think is just leaving the station every day. That's right. When it doesn't give you a chance to get on board. And, I would say to your point, I mean, the cattle markets really aren't off that much here today, considering what's going on with inflation and what these stock markets are doing. And if a lot of folks will always quote what the stock markets are doing when they talk in terms of beef. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty healthy day today if they've been hanging in there like they have, because to your point, that was a surprise. The market obviously doesn't like it. We're down about 500 points today in the Dow and the S&P. They're all off over 1%. And we've seen interest rates, that 10-year yield, which we all look at, that popped up 2.5%. So now the 10-year yield, I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago, Tommy, that was at 381, and today it traded 4.3. So we're probably just off of that right now, but that's making that dollar get stronger. So probably not a bad, all in all, not a bad day for beef, considering what's been out there. But that's it from us. We ran out of time. I took it all up. I'm sorry. But that's
Congrats,
all you get, Tommy.
You did great, buddy. You did great.
Tommy Grisafi. Thanks, Tommy. We'll bring it back here to Nashville.